Why are women 5 times more likely than men to be targeted by gang stalking? Gang stalking and targeted individuals refer to and validate the fact that certain individuals are covertly stalked, harassed, and embarrassed over time by organized groups of people and denied the right to live their lives with the same level of privacy, normality, and dignity as most other citizens are afforded. This heinous and malicious organized attack on innocent people has gotten a lot of attention in recent years, with many people undoubtedly becoming victims of gang stalking and perpetrators who covertly target these individuals. Once these terrifying act of gang stalking and targeted individuals was proven to be real, some experts speculated on why women are more vulnerable to this type of harassment than men. For starters, women may be targeted more frequently than men due to gender discrimination. Women have historically faced discrimination in many areas of life, including the workplace and society as a whole. Gang stalking and targeting individuals are examples of discrimination, as perpetrators may target women in an attempt to control or intimidate them. As the popularity of secretive groups comprised primarily of male entities has grown, many perpetrators have discovered that literally putting women, who have chosen not to cooperate, participate, and/or give in to their advances on the virtual list of targets as a form of punishment or retaliation for non-compliance to their desires. While a majority of this activity is supported by many perpetrators of the male persuasion, there are also female perpetrators who support and participate in such behavior due to jealousy, insecurity, and a sense of abandonment as well. Let us not forget that these are standard emotional triggers and personality traits that the perpetrators themselves, sometimes known as handlers, seek out in their recruiting efforts. They are looking for hurt people who want to hurt people to join their cause. Although there have been many high-profile cases in recent years where the perception of justice has been served after the fact, this type of behavior still occurs inadvertently and secretly on a daily basis with little if any recourse on the part of the women who are profiled. Hence, the niche aspect of gang stalking women in particular. Second, because women are perceived as more emotional and less rational than men, they may be more vulnerable to gang stalking and targeting as individuals. Perpetrators may believe that women are easier to manipulate and control, making them easier targets for harassment and being taken advantage of. Furthermore, women may not be more likely to report gang stalking and targeting due to the consequences of retaliation and isolation often associated with being a targeted individual, making them more visible as victims. Most gang stalking perpetrators get a sickening sense of exhilaration and satisfaction from humiliating women because they have experienced loss, rejection, and/or abandonment from other women in their lives. This long-standing sense of disempowerment is now rectified by the act of being materially involved in or supporting the bringing of harm and/or disgrace to the women they perceive as being non-compliant, rejecting and/or ignoring them in some capacity in the present. Because these emotions are deeply set in their psyche without any attempt to address the issue appropriately with the help of a mental health professional, the emotional satisfaction that comes from the act of participating in and/or supporting gang stalking is the equivalent of a junkie getting his next fix. This psychological phenomenon is more commonly known as the mommy-daddy syndrome. This is where particular male perpetrators relish the prospect of causing harm and/or perceived danger to any women they believe to be disobedient. This is yet another confirmation of the mental instability of those who engage in gang stalking as a whole. This type of behavior necessitates a mental health diagnosis, not the ability to wreak havoc, humiliate and destroy the reputations of innocent women by sending a text message out to the masses who then participate in this tortuous activity. Third, most gang stalking perpetrators are preoccupied with the notion that women are more likely to be vulnerable targets. Women, for example, are more likely to be single parents, live alone, or work in low-wage jobs, making them more vulnerable to harassment and intimidation. Women may also be more likely to be victims of domestic violence, making them more vulnerable to gang stalking and those who choose to participate in targeting individuals. Because they are more likely to be the targets of sexual harassment and assault, women are 5 times more vulnerable to gang stalking and being indoctrinated into the forced underclass of targeted individuals. People who participate in targeting individuals and gang stalking are often motivated by jealousy, greed, and a desire to control or intimidate women, particularly those who have previously experienced sexual harassment or assault. These criminals are looking for ways to take advantage of women's weaknesses for their own sickening, selfish, and uncontrollable gain. As a result, this malicious social experiment takes an already vulnerable segment of society and relegates them into an impossible hamster wheel experience that involves the reconciliation of one's self-worth versus their sheer need for survival from one day to the next. This is all captured under the shadow of intimidation and reprisal if they, the targeted individuals, choose to not cooperate with the selfish and irresponsible demands of the emotionally crippled perpetrators. Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing more than modern-day slavery without the physical chains, where disobedience or dissident behavior, living our lives freely as the Constitution intended, is the price of admission. Is this the Republic of the Third World or the United States of America? Do we fall for anything or stand for justice, truth, and that which our forefathers gave their lives for? In a modern society where democracy and justice serve as the foundation from which we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. No one should be forced, covertly or overtly, to live that way. Freedom is not free if we are coerced and cajoled by underhanded tactics being dived out by an inept and unstable segment of our society that has made zero attempts to address their own emotional and social deficiencies. Crazy does crazy, but it should do anybody else. As one of the primary goals of gang stalking and targeting individuals is the erosion of one's self-esteem and self-worth, putting them on the same level as those who perpetrate the heinous acts, it attempts to create a class system that benefits the mentally and morally deprived segments of society for the benefit of those who originally instigated this cruel and tortuous agenda of social genocide and no one else. This content creator has seen too many instances where the cards have been turned on the perpetrators by those who perpetrate now finding themselves on the proverbial other side of the fence, confirming what we have said time and again: there is no honor amongst thieves. Trust and know that those who instigate, perpetuate, and participate in this egregiously demonic activity referred to as gang stalking and targeting individuals are nothing more than thieves, criminals, and maleficent personalities who are emotionally malnourished and cannot be trusted. To summarize, while the theory of gang stalking and targeted individuals has been proven, there are several reasons why women may be targeted more frequently than men. Gender discrimination, perceptions of women as emotional and less rational, vulnerability, and the prevalence of sexual harassment and assault are all factors that contribute to this phenomenon. It is critical for society to recognize and address the issue of gang stalking and targeting individuals so that no one has to live in fear of overt and/or covert harassment or intimidation, particularly at the hands of emotionally crippled individuals whose motives bring harm, danger, and torture to innocent women because they refuse to participate and demonstrate some level of non-compliance, knowing that their complicity to and the outcome of such is clearly not in their physical, moral, and emotional best interests. Freedom should always remain free. So what will you do the next time or the first time someone asks you to participate or even support such malicious and emotionally defecating activity, knowing what you know now?